A while back, we hit you guys with 9 things you didn't know about Pulp Fiction, and clearly you liked it. I'd say that justifies a part 2. And we even have a thing about Stanley Tucci, because Tucci-palooza isn't just a hashtag, it's a lifestyle. So let's go! Here are 7 more things you didn't know about Pulp Fiction. Probably. Let's start off with a thing about this scene, which is the first scene of Pulp Fiction. The first scene of the movie was actually shot on the first day of production. By the end, we learned that the very last scene of the movie occurs just a few moments after this one, but what you probably didn't notice is how carefully they laid the groundwork for that to play out. Right there, we can see Vincent Vega walking to the bathroom in the background in the whole shorts and t-shirt get-up, which is foreshadowing. Is that how foreshadowing works? I think I'm using that right. Somebody will tell me if I'm not. Anyway, there's another thing you probably never noticed about this scene. Honey Bunny's line about executing the fucking pricks in the diner isn't exactly the same in the beginning as it is in the end.
Any of you fucking pricks move! And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you! Any of you fucking pricks move! And I'll execute every one of you motherfuckers!
It's a subtle change that was done to illustrate the different points of view on how the robbery went down. Quentin Tarantino isn't exactly known for subtlety, but if you really study all those pricks and fucks, you'll find it. I believe in you. Let's move on from the first scene they shot to the part with Captain Coons, which was shot on the last day of filming. Christopher Walken didn't really have time to rehearse this scene with Tarantino because he was doing another movie at the same time. They scouted the scene's location together, but that was about all the prep they had. But, being the pro that he is, Walken showed up to the shoot completely prepared and nailed his monologue, and part of his diligent preparation included hot sauce. Walken would actually drink Tabasco sauce between takes of the monologue. Weird, I know, but we are talking about Christopher Walken here. Pulp Fiction's producer Lawrence Bender thought the hot sauce was some kind of method acting deal, like it was Walken's way of getting into the pain of the character.
I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years.
The real reason? Hot sauce helped him to produce saliva and kept his mouth from drying out during the long speech. Personally, I keep my mouth from drying out by doing all of my voiceover completely naked from the waist down. But I guess I'm just old-fashioned. Okay, we need to talk about Jules' hair. Now, originally, Quentin Tarantino wanted Jules to have a giant afro. That was the vision. Problem was, the PA they sent to the wig store was super white and didn't know the difference between an afro and a jheri curl and came back with what we see here. At first, they were going to take it back and get the afro wig like they'd planned, but Samuel L. Jackson pointed out to Tarantino that Ice Cube and Eazy-E had rocked jheri curls. So ultimately, they decided that if it was gangster enough for NWA, it would work on Jules too.
We're all gonna be like 3 little Fonzies here.
There are lots of Easter eggs and character crossover throughout Quentin Tarantino's movie, and that includes the Vegas. Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction and Vic Vega in Reservoir Dogs are actually brothers. See, Tarantino wanted Michael Madsen to reprise his role as Vic for Pulp Fiction originally. But Madsen had a scheduling conflict with Wyatt Earp and wasn't able to do it. After Tarantino met with John Travolta, he rewrote the part specifically for him, making it Vincent Vega, Vic's brother. There's even been talk of doing a Reservoir Dogs Pulp Fiction prequel with them both called the Vega Brothers. The only problem, of course, being that they're 25 years older now. As far as how Tarantino settled on the last name Vega, aside from it just sounding cool, he took the name from the singer-songwriter Suzanne Vega, one of his personal favorites.
Just don't argue anymore.
And in a scene that wound up on the cutting room floor, Vincent tells Mia Wallace that Suzanne Vega is his cousin.
Suzanne Vega's my cousin.
So that's just a little bonus thing you didn't know. Remember how pissed off Vincent was about getting his car keyed?
Some dickless piece of shit with it.
Well, it turns out the dickless piece of shit who keyed his car is Butch. It happens right after this scene here where Vincent insults him at the bar.
You my friend Palooka.
Obviously, we don't see Butch do the keying, but it was his way of getting back at Vince for calling him a palooka, which was a total jabroni move. While we're on Vince's Malibu, let's talk about how they crashed it for this scene. The way they crashed it is, they didn't. They drove one car past the front door, then walked the camera outside to reveal a second car that they'd already placed for the crash. Classic movie magic trickery. Despite coming out of this scene unscathed, the Malibu still had some misadventures that came afterwards. And if you want to know what I mean by that, you should go back and watch part 1 of our Things You Didn't Know on Pulp Fiction. Okay, we teased the Tooch at the top of the show, and now it's finally time. If you're sitting there saying, there's no way they're going to be able to crowbar a thing about Stanley Tucci into an episode on Pulp Fiction, well, allow me to retort. Marcellus Wallace is the crime boss at the center of most of Pulp Fiction stories. Marcellus Wallace is, of course, played by Ving Rhames.
I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
Ving Rhames' real name is Irving Rhames. And do you know how he got the nickname Ving? From his college roommate, Stanley fucking Tucci. That's where he got it.
I'm a wooden.
Even though that's more of a thing about Ving Rhames and Stanley Tucci than it is a thing about Pulp Fiction, I still really want to drop the mic right now. But Cinefix would make me pay for it. Frankly, they just don't pay me enough to go buying microphones willy-nilly. I got mouths to feed, people. All right, there are 7 new things you didn't know about Pulp Fiction. Let us know if you guys want to see us do another Tarantino movie, or an episode all on crossovers between Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, or even just a part 3 on Pulp. We'll consider it. Maybe. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out Cinefix.com and subscribe for more true-ish things about movies, and sometimes Stanley Tucci, right here on Things You Didn't Know.